Later that day, the overseer, Sanders, rode up on his horse and pointed at Minty. You, he said, come with me. Running behind, Minty followed him down the trail to the big Buttwater River. There, next to the bank, she saw a thick rope stretched across the surface of the water. Get in, Sanders ordered. But I can't swim, Minty said. And mister, it's cold. Don't sass me, girl. I said get in there and take hold of the rope. He watched as Minty waded in the water. You see those traps? The steel ones? Those are muskrat traps. Mr. Brodus wants you to check every one, and if there's a muskrat caught, you stuff him in there. The overseer thrust a heavy sack at Minty, then spat into the water. Don't you get any ideas now, he warned. Remember, I got eyes in the back of my head. Then, spurring his horse, Sanders galloped off. Slowly, Minty started downstream, holding tight to the rope. The first two traps were empty, but inside the third, a fat, glossy muskrat was struggling to get free. Squatting down, Minty pulled apart the steel jaws of the trap. She glanced back to make sure Sanders was out of sight. Then happily, she let the muskrat go, releasing it downstream. It swam away vigorously, propelling through the water with its long, flat tail. Minty's eyes were wide with excitement. Go, she cried, splashing at the water. Go, swim away. She hurried to the next trap and did the same thing, releasing a second muskrat into the cold, muddy river. She was prying open a third trap when she heard a soft noise behind her. Sanders was sitting on his horse, not 10 feet away. For a long moment, he and Minty stared at each other. Then suddenly, Minty dropped the trap and started to run. Sanders caught up with her at once. Jumping down, he bound her wrists together with a short piece of twine. That was a stupid thing to do, he said. You be sorry, gal. He took her back to the big house where Mrs. Brodus was on the porch cracking walnuts. She listened to what Sanders had to say. Minty never got a chance to speak for herself. Whip her, Mrs. Brodus orders. Whip her good. And if it happens one more time, you tell my husband here. We'll send her south. They'll know what to do with her in Georgia. The overseer tied Minty to the fence. Then roughly, he ripped open the back of her shirt. Old Rit was watching from a distance. As soon as she saw Sanders raise the whip, she dropped to the ground, her hands over her ears. Oh, Lord, let it be quick, she moaned. Let it be quick. Please, dear God, let it be over. Later, by candlelight, Old Rit did what she could to help Minty get through the night. Now, this'll hurt some, she said, smearing green salve on Minty's back. Oh, baby, don't cry. Don't do it. Here, bite down on this. It will help. She forced a hickory stick between Minty's teeth. I told you not to aggravate them. I told you. Aggravate. Why didn't you listen, Minty? Don't you got any sense? It was several days before Minty could walk again. Then early in the morning, she was sent back to the fields where the rye and wheat stood tall. But Amanda was no longer there. Minty learned she'd been sold south. And you're next, Sanders told her. I got my eye on you.